Blaster, where we blow apart the stock market and put it back together so that it makes sense for you. I'm Forbes Markets editor John Dobis. Well, the New York Giants, they've done it again. They've beaten the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl for the second time in 40 years. Congratulations to Eli Manning, an elite quarterback, and Coach Coughlin. The Mario Manningham catch late in the fourth quarter along the sideline, of course, was very much like the David Tyree catch late in Super Bowl 42. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Also, February 6th, a big day for birthdays. Whose birthday is it? Happy birthday, President Ronald Reagan and Bob Marley. Ronald Reagan would have been 101 years old today. Bob Marley, born in 1945, he would have been, what, 55, 65, 66 years old today. Bob Marley, still jamming. Well, both of those guys have a very strong association to the year 1981. Of course, in May of 1981 was when Bob Marley died. Around the same time, President Reagan's first tax cut, the Kemp-Roth tax cut, passed, reducing marginal tax rates on incomes from 70% at the highest to 50% and down to 39.5% now. Of course, Stripes was a big movie out at the time with Bill Murray, and the IBM personal computer came out then. A lot of people now want to make Ronald Reagan one of the faces on Mount Rushmore for all that he did for the country. He already has an airport named after him in Washington, D.C. We'll see about that. Since 1981, a lot's changed in the country socially as well. You now have 16 states, Bob Marley might like this, 16 states with medical marijuana laws, including California. And if you go to Venice Beach, you can see the Kush Doctor. In any case, other big birthdays today: Babe Ruth, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Tom Brokaw, and Vice President and kind of a traitor to the country, Aaron Burr. Not to mention GNR frontman Axl Rose, who got large, I guess. In any case, we have things going on in Greece right now. The troika of lenders is there talking to the Greek government about making those cuts that are required before Greece gets the money to make its payment by March 20th. It owes 110 billion euros. Well, people aren't really worried about it too much, even though the Greeks are playing brinkmanship. You have interim Prime Minister Lucas Papademos there, Merkel and Sarkozy, and the Euro, the ECB. How are these all tied together? Well, the ECB on December 19th provided a LTRO, a long-term refinancing option, which allowed banks to borrow money for 3 years at very low rates like they do here in the U.S. So there will be no collapse, even if Greece does default, though there may be some pain for French banks. Here you have the charts of the EWG and the EWQ. Those are the iShares that represent Germany and France, respectively. Not much negative on the news today, down 0.4% in Germany, down 0.9% in France. For a big default of Greece, not much really to worry about there in France or Germany. In the U.S. here, after a furious month of January and a first week of February, stocks did take a little bit of a break here. The S&P 500 index down about 0.7%. It was down a little bit more than that during the day. It rallied. You can't really see any decline here, just a big run up. The 10-year Treasury below 2% at 1.9%, still have low rates that help support stocks. And gold took a little bit of a tumble. Not much of a fear that Greece's imminent default, if it does happen, would cause chaos, so gold goes down. We are still in the midst of earnings season. We're actually past the halfway point. We're kind of in the third quarter right now. On Tuesday, you got some big names coming out. Disney reports earnings, as well as Coca-Cola. Looking at Disney, look at that stock, hitting new highs there. Of course, Disney is related to consumers. People are doing better now. They have more jobs. Unemployment is down. They're going to be more likely to go to Disney World and places like that. Coke was it. Big dividend-paying stock. You know, people drink Coke no matter what kind of economy you have. But Coke has taken a tumble from $70 down to about 68. Not horrible. Coke, of course, had that great commercial with Mean Joe Green. In the Super Bowl on Sunday, he was sniffing Febreze or something like that. It was kind of a weird. Pepsi has a little bit more pep than Coke right now, and it's reporting on Thursday. Look at Pepsi's chart. Maybe it's the more salty snacks around the world. That could be it. Pepsi is reporting on Thursday, and they are lifting higher. On Wednesday, you've got a bunch of companies coming out. Cisco and Visa, probably the two biggest. Akamai, of course, a company that helps accelerate the flow of data on the internet. And Ralph Lauren. Cisco is riding a huge wave of momentum higher. Look at this stock, $20 a share. John Chambers, we'll see what he says on Wednesday rather. Visa also, look at this, in the last few days going from about $100 to $107. People anticipating some good earnings from Visa. We'll see what happens there. Earnings so far in the S&P 500 index have been two-thirds better. Two-thirds of the companies that have reported have done better than expected. You've got about $110 in earnings per share. Give that a multiple of about 15, and you've got an S&P 500 index of about 1650, folks. That's about 300 points from where we are right now. So happy investing. And happy birthday, Bob Marley and Ronald Reagan.